This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. What's going on? Okay,
let's do that.
Joining us today is Andrew Bell, the CEO of Red Rock Resources. So hello, Andrew. How are you? I believe you are traveling. You're actually in Lubumbashi at the moment.
I am, yeah. It's nice and sunny, not particularly hot, perfect climate. It's their winter.
Excellent. Okay, so what is the purpose of the trip to Lubumbashi? Presumably it's to do with the Luanshimba project.
Really, I came here to collect our money. Because, of course, we had a couple of court judgments here for $2.5 million, which is 50.1% of the first payment made by Jacomine to our former partner, and then $2 million in damages because they tried to do it behind our backs, and we went to court and we won. But there's another $15 million to pay, which Jacomine is perfectly happy and willing to pay, but as once they knew who to pay it to. Well, of course, now we do know who to pay it to. So we're sitting around a table with them in Kinshasa next week, and perhaps the other party that we defeated in court will be there. And I'm sure there'll be a bit of give and take, and we won't end up with a whole cake because in Africa, we normally have to do some kind of compromise. We would expect to be coming out with a substantial amount of what we have, and the rest maybe not in cash but in kind.
Okay, good. So what would be the next steps then once this is settled and all sorted?
Well, obviously, the licenses that we have in Congo will continue to explore. Luanshimba, sure. I mean, we need to do some more work there during the dry season, which is from here, but we'd rather do it with money generated here. Which is what we're talking about, so that when we get paid money, we don't take it all straight out of the country. Some of it will be recycled to develop our projects here. We have that one. We have a joint venture which is under discussion, which is very high-grade historic producer of cobalt from Little Akai, all these sort of eggs, and the surrounding ground we think is very good. And we've been discussing that, but again, we don't want to do it unless we're doing it with the money from the rolling over money that we have made here. And then as part of the compensation package that we'll be getting, we would expect to find ourselves with another high-grade license. So we do have 2 or 3 things, and other possibilities too. So we'll get all of that done. Luanshimba for sure, we do more exploration. It's looking very good. Our local representative, Barry, who runs Minex, an exploration service provider here, he had a stall at the mining conference here last week, and everyone coming past was looking at it, and some really good people, good geologists from other companies, were interested that he'd featured some of our drill results from Luanshimba on his stand, on the sort of wall charts. And people were looking at it and having explained to them and talking about it. And I got a really good feeling from all of that because it was being taken seriously.
Okay. And just thinking of this joint venture, this other cobalt producer that you mentioned, can you say any more about that at this stage?
No, we have lots of discussions always. We could have entered into things, we could have done things more quickly, but we don't want to be putting more and more money into a place where we got a bit stuck initially because people didn't do the right thing. We'd like to sort out problems so that when people see us putting money in here, they say, yes, that makes sense. You can get justice there. You can protect your interests and all of that. And I think we're now at that point. So rather than get our money out on one trip and then look for 1 or 2 investments to recycle part of that, develop part of that and more exploration on another trip, I'm combining the 2, setting things up so that we're in a position to go forward. But also, it happened that I was here at the time of the mining conference in Lubumbashi last week, and that was very interesting.
Okay, what can you tell us about that? I mean, from what I've been hearing about people going to these shows, like the Indaba in Africa, the UK Investor Show, for example, what's the vibe you're getting at these mining shows? Do you feel that the sector is
Well, I didn't go to Indaba,
no.
But I went to this one. There were 4,000 people, and it was really upbeat. There were people from all over Africa, people who'd never been before, contractors and subcontractors as well, and people looking at projects, because with cobalt and copper and lithium, all things that are used in battery metals, electric cars, everybody can see that Congo is critically important and has become stable. It's getting better all the time, and that if you're in this area, you can't actually afford to be out of the Congo. People say, well, we can find sources of cobalt outside the Congo. No, you really can't, not enough. And then lithium, Zimbabwe, of course, where we are present, is the biggest producer in Africa, but the biggest resources, as is well known, are in Congo too. The mineral endowment here is absolutely prodigious. And even copper, the demands for copper in, say, an electric car are hugely greater than in a conventional petrol car. And copper demand is increasing. And here you've got a country that can supply all these things. You have to be here and go through the pain barrier of learning how to do things and getting connections. I think we are poised for success here.
You're poised for success. Okay. And how long are you going to be over for?
I'm hoping to be back by the weekend, but it's kind of unlikely. It's probably this trip is going to extend into next week, but it's worth it. I don't want to go back to London, as you might say. I won't say empty-handed because it's been a very valuable trip. But I don't want to go back to London without things that I can talk about as visible signs of success.
Okay, excellent. So looking for visible signs of success. Well, hopefully we'll catch up again soon and you can let us know how everything went. And hopefully we do see some signs of those visible signs of success. But for now, Andrew Bell, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.